Hello everybody. Well, I got the Uplula pistol magazine reloader gizmo. I have the one here that is designed to work with 9mm to 45 ACP. They said it'll work on some 380s. Then I got the BabyUpLula, which is for like 22s, I think 25s, 32s, and some 380s. I kind of was jacking around with this a little bit ago just to see, and my SIG P238 will work. I can load it in either one. Whenever you load it in this one, you know, this is obviously a little sloppy in there, but once you get it centered in there, you can load it up pretty stinking good. And I'll kind of demonstrate this here in a minute. These things, I've seen them not advertised, but I've seen them on magazines. I've seen them on a few different YouTube channels, and it just kind of intrigued me. And I've been looking at them and thinking about them for some time. I don't know how long. I've probably seen them for the first time maybe about a year ago. And I was like, man, that looks pretty stinking slick. Because as you all know, a lot of these damn magazines can be kind of a bitch to load. Especially when you start getting down to those last 2 or 3. Some magazines are inherently stiffer, springed, and tougher to load than others. I personally find a Glock magazine to be about the easiest to load by hand. I find the SR9 magazine to be one of the toughest to load by hand, just because of the spacing of the metal and stuff in here. You have very little room right here to put your next round on and push this down to slide it back. You know, it's just a real small space. If you get it too far back and try and push it down, well, now you're hitting this lip right here. So it's just, to me, and I'm, you know, about 3/4 hillbilly, so it might just be me, but just kind of a bastard to load up. So I just want to demonstrate how these things work. Set that one out of the road. Put this one here is a Glock 20 magazine. Holds 15 rounds. Okay, now to use this, you have this little gizmo here. This is what actually pushes down the follower on your magazine. See this thing right here? Okay. So whenever you put these in, you put them in, load side, you slip your shell in here, push down and slide it back. Goes in like that, right there. Okay. I don't know how well y'all can see this thing, but you can see just like that. Okay. So to load this up, oh, I'm looking for the magazine and it's right there. Told you I'm 3/4 hillbilly. Okay, now trying to do this with this camera in front of me, I'm pretty slow as it is, but you guys will get the idea. Set this right here. Now push this in and push down. Take your round, slide it in like that, let go, lift up, push in, push down. And you just do that through all of them. Now you do need, you know, to have a surface of some kind to put this on. Trying to hold this in your hand and do this and then grab a round with the other hand and put it in and all that kind of shit doesn't work worth a crap. But I mean, pretty much anywhere you're at, if you're at the range, if you're out in the woods, you can find something to put this on so that you can, load this. This spring right now, I can tell you, is starting to get really tight. Right there. Okay, that's all 15 of them. Now you can see how that left that not seated all the way back. After you load it, just give her a good smack, seat all those to the back, and you'll be good. Super easy, doesn't rip on your thumbs, nothing like that. Here is 17 round Ruger SR9. Rounds. Okay. Now this Ruger magazine, like I said, this thing, ever since it was new, it's just a stick booger. I mean, that's all you can say about it. But it's the same thing. Put it in, lift it up, push it down. Let's get all 17 of these put in. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit while I'm doing this. I got the BabyUpLula because, as a lot of you may know, I bought my wife a Walther P22 for Christmas. And I thought, well, I'll get that for her to help her load that a little easier. Well, I really don't think I needed to get it. And I'll show you why in a bit. Whenever you try and load one of these 22 mags that have the little thumb studs on the side of them, well, that little thumb stud, that spring is freaking tight, man. Try and do that without a loader of some kind, it stinking sucks. So there's 17 rounds in that. The 380, this only holds 6 rounds. Keep getting out of frame, sorry about that. 6 rounds. Now I'll tell you, this thing here, I mean, the spring on this is soft enough, but these freaking lips right here, you can see how this thing is designed. Whenever you put a round down and then push, these little lips right here are freaking sharp. And whenever I first took this out shooting and then push it back and push it back, by the end of 4 hours of shooting, my stinking thumb was raw from rubbing on the different magazines. But this one right here is a hell of a biter. And let me show you that even the 380, the SIG 238 380, is loadable with this big loader. You can see that in there. Okay. Put a round in. There we go. Didn't have her caught quite right. Fumble fingers. Put it in and push it down. So if you have, and I can't speak for any other 380s, this is the only one I have, but chances are, if you have a 380, this big loader will probably load it. I mean, this is just a single stack. If you had a 380 that was a double stack, I mean, a little fatter would even be a little bit better, I think. But if you put this inside of the BabyUpLula, same concept, but this fits in here just a lot better. It's just a nice, really nice fit. You don't have to worry about it, flipping off to the side and getting all sideways and crap. So I have no regrets on buying the BabyUpLula. Did I need it? No, I didn't need it. But like I say, I initially wanted to get that for the 22s. So this one here, the big one. Let me see the box here. That's for the baby. Here's the box for the normal one. Kind of see that, it says right up there, 9mm to 45 ACP, universal pistol mag, Butler Creek. That kind of got me. I didn't know Butler Creek. I don't know if they have a deal, you know, obviously they do, with Maglula, Uplula, whatever. But that one's for this. Let me put that aside. Okay, here's the Walther P22 magazine. Now you see how this one has got this little thumb stud that you can use to pull this down as you load the magazine. It's the same with a Ruger. This is from a Mark II. Okay. Excuse me. Well, you know, the spring on this Walther magazine is a heck of a lot lighter than it is for that Ruger, and I was only really familiar with the Ruger, and I thought that my wife was going to have problems having the thumb strength to pull this down and load them in, and as you get down here it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Well, the spring on this is pretty light. I don't think she's going to have a problem with it. But bigger issue is whenever you put this in here, that little thumb stud right there hits the wall. So whenever you push this down, it pushes that down. Okay? Well, whenever you push that down and try to put in a round, okay, that looks fine and dandy, right? Looks good. Put a round in, and because that spring is pushed down, the round goes in this, and right now that round is sitting in there standing up. It's not laying in there like it should. It's standing straight up in the air. Well, no, it's not. Maybe I'm a liar. That's normally what happens. Let's try this. Let's see. Put in another one. There ain't no need doing that because the browns are just falling down in there. Okay. Now you see what that's doing? They're getting all jumbled in there simply because there's no spring tension to keep these things sitting in there right or feeding in there right. So if you have a 22 or something that doesn't have this little thing here, I think it'd work stinking fantastic. But with this Walther anyway, it's just wide enough that whenever you try to put this in here, that hits. If that didn't hit like that, it would be fine. But it does hit, so it's not fine. This one here, the 1020, or I'm sorry, the Mark II, the little thumb stud doesn't hit, but I was upstairs trying to load these, and just because of the design of it, there isn't enough room for a round to slide in above that. You can't, it won't go. It just doesn't, there isn't enough room to allow that to go in there. So, I mean, there's the stuff I saw on it, they never even mentioned anything about these Ruger mags, so I assumed it wouldn't work with those. But they did show this one, and I don't know how old boy did it. If he took that off, or maybe he had this thing tilted, I don't remember. Tilted a certain way so when it went in, they would lay in there properly. I'm not sure. But 14 and a half minutes, I've babbled enough. I really like them. They both were the same money. About the best price I found them on the internet was around $27-28 plus shipping. I bought these through Cabela's simply because I had Cabela's gift cards that I had gotten for Christmas, and they were $35 at Cabela's. So, yep, Maglula Uplula, pistol loader, son of a guns. I like them. We'll see ya.